Leet code 554 brick wall, so we need to find the minimum number of cross brick after drawing such a vertical line in here. I took the algorithm from his video in here and and also the code from the Java in here. So let's see what it does. So in order for the test unit, it is like list of the integer that we called wall, and the first list is 1 2 2 1. We can also call it row. So this is row. Each row has its element, which is also the brick that we can see in here. This is the row. This is the index of the possible gap in here, and we want to see which line that give us the least amount of the brick that we cross. So let's debug this. So right now we have a wall. Has a list of the list. This list has the row. We call it the row, and each row has the brick. This is the brick of 1 2 2 1 that we can call that. Okay, and we create a new hash map. We call it map. This will map of how many gap that we have. And the first integer is the index of the gap and how many gap that we have on the second integer. Max gap, we initiate that as the 0. So at the first row, this is the first row. And what do we have at the first row? And the wall, the first row, we have a list of 1 2 2 1. So in here, the first row is we are going to deal with the whole thing in here. That's our first row. And then the position is 0, cool, and we will loop. We are going to loop for each of the bricks, starting from 0 until row size -1, because size is 4 and we only have index until 3 for this one. Okay, then position plus minus. So when we hit this line, it will add to the row.get.i, where I is 0, and what is row at the 0 is 1. So our pos is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. So we'll increment our pos by 1 right now. So pos become 1. And we will put, this put is the mapping of the position and get the value of our map. Our position is 1. What is the value of the position 1? Since like we don't have anything, we get the default. What the amount of the default is 0 plus 1. So in here we will get at the position 1, we don't have anything. So it means that the value will set the default, which is 0, and after we get that, we add plus 1. So we will map up the pos of 1 in here into this whole value in here is 0 because we don't have it, plus 1, so we will map 1 to 1. It's a bit confusing, just keep going on and we'll see the pattern later on. Right now, we will take the max, which one is larger. Max gap is 0 and map.get.position. What is in our map? Map we have in here. Get the position. What's our position? 1. What is the value of 1? This is mapping from the key 1 into value 1. So between 0 and the value in here, get the value 1, 0 and 1. 1 is bigger, so the max gap will increase into 1. Voila. Then we are done with the first brick. We are going to go to the next brick. Next brick is, we are going to see in here where we have the I right now is 1, we are dealing with 1, and the value is 2. So the pos right now is 1, plus we add that we update the value of the pos by row.get.i. Row, which is mean that we have in here .get the I right now is 1, so we get 2. 1 plus 2, 1 in here, pos is 1, plus 2 in here will be 3. So that pos will be 3. Yep, and we will put also the pos of the 3. So this is 3 and get the default. Do we already have 3 in the map or not? No, we don't. So we will set the default into 0 plus 1. So we will map 3 into 1 because the whole thing in here, since we don't have that, it will be 0 and then add it by 1. Therefore, we get the mapping between 3 and 1. And then right now, we are going to check the max gap. max gap right now 1, and what is the gap at the 3 right now? The gap at the 3 is 1. So that will not update our max gap, and that will end the that iteration I equal 1. So right now I is equal 2. At the I equal 2, row, back to the row. Where is our row? Our row is in here. What is 2? The key is 2. We get the 2, and the value is also 2. So right now pos will be 3 plus 2 will be 5. And at the pos 5, we'll put 5 map into, do we have 5 in our map? No, we don't. So it will become 0 plus 1. So at position 5, we will have our first gap, and it's mapped in here. And we'll check our max gap is 1, and then what is the map.get.post? Map.get.5 is also 1 in here. So this is map.get, the key of 5, the value is 1. So 1 and 1, we don't update we update to 1, but like the value remain the same. And that will be our I equal 2, and we go to I equal 2, and it's done. So if we can see in here, we just put in the hash map at the index 1, at the index 3, at the index 5 of 1 gap. And that what do we have in here. So we are done with the first row, and then we will go to the second row. What do we have at the second row? We have 3, 1, 2, just like what we have in here. So we will map that. There will be gap on the 3 and gap on the 4. And let's see how the code behave in here. We start with the position 0, and I starting again from 0 until row size -1. It's the same thing. And then what do we get at the row of the get of the 0? We got 3. So pos right now 0 plus 3, it becomes 3. Cool. And we will put 3. Do we have something in our map for the 3? Yes, we do. We have 1. So we will get this value right now, this execution, we will get the value of 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So there are 2 gaps at the position 3 or index 3. And that we can see in here, that's how we read that. And then like, well, right now map get pos 2, there are 2 gap at the position 3, and our max gap is 1, so we'll update max gap into 2. That's how we get updated. Next, we are going to the I equal to 1. When I equal to 1, that is the break is 1. So position is 3 plus row.get.I. 3 plus 1 is 4. Right now we are at the position 4. At 4, do we have that in the hash map? No. So we will map the number, the pos 4 into, this will be, since we don't have anything, it will be 0 plus 1. So we'll map it into 1. So that 4 into 1 in here. And our max gap is 2. Map at the get dispose. The gap at the position 4 is 1. Now max gap is higher, so we keep it that way. And then I equal 1 is over. Yep, it's over. Okay. Then practically we are doing the same pattern. I'll do it one more because it's still fun. So we are at the row of 2. So this one with the size 3. With the size 3, our pos is 0, and then our I start also from 0. And what do we get at the row of the 0? We get the value of 1. So pos right now it is 1. And when it's 1, do we have 1 in our map? Yes, we do, and the value is 1. So the pos, so we put pos of 1, we update that value into 1 plus 1, which is 2. So we have 2 gap at the position 1. And our max gap is 2, and also the gap in here, map.get.post, which means that the gap at the position 1 is also 2. We don't update anything, and we can continue to the I equal 1. I equal 1, the value is 3 right now. So the position from 1 jump into 4. 1 plus 3 is 4, and we will put, do we have anything at the 4? Yes, we do. We have the value 1 at the 4. So we will add plus 1 in here. So we map the position 4 into map get or default pos 4, which is like 1 plus 1, what that is 2. So we have 2 gap in our position 4. The max gap is still 2 also, because 2 and 2 remain the same, so we moving on. And then do we still have at I equal 2? Yes. Up. No, because we will not create any gap at the end in here. That's why we don't, that's why the row size -1 in here. Okay, cool. Let's go. Moving on, one more. So right now we are at the I of, at the row number 3. Return, we start again over again where pos is 0, and then I less than the row size -1, the row size is 2, so we only loop for the 0 and 1 in here. Yep, that's it. Then what will be our position right now? Pos 0 plus row.get.2. So get that I, the value is 2, so 0 plus 2 is 2. And then do we have 2 in our map? Yes, we do. No, we don't. No, we don't. So we will get the default value of 0 plus 1. We will map 2 into 1. So that we got in here, we will map 2 into 1 in here. The max gap remain 2 because right now the gap is 1 at position 2. The max gap is still 2. Okay, then we will go to I equal, no, because we will not go to I equal 1 because the gap is only in here. We will don't count gap in here. I'm still a bit confused on how it ends. Okay, let's continue. We are at the row. Which row right now? We are at the row size 3, 3, 1, 2. We are at the row of 4. Yeah, okay, with the row of 4, position start over from 0, and then the row size is 3. -1 is 2. Okay, so row size is 3, -1 is 2, and I cannot be less than, I should be less than 2, so we only iterate from 0 and 1. So this is not equal sign. Okay, I got it. Pos is row.get.I. What is get at 0 is 3. So pos right now 0 plus 3, which is at the position 3. Do we have a map at the position 3? Yes, we do. The gap is 2. And then we will add by 1. So the gap will be 3. The gap will be 3. Our max gap is 2. The current gap right now is 3. So we will update the max gap right now. Okay. And then after that, at the I equal 1, what do we have? We have 1, brick of 1. Okay. So position increase from 3 to 4. From 3 to 4, and then we will put, do we have map of the 4? Yes, we have map of the 4. From these 2, we will plus 1. So we have 3 gap at the position 4. Our max gap is still 3, and we just keep looping, and then we are done with this row. Let's go to the last row. I can't believe I'm finishing it. At the last row, pos is 0, and then it will be row size -1 and less than. So we, how many do we have? Size is 4, so only we loop twice. 0, 1, 2, 3, no, 0, 1. We only loop twice in here. So pos right now, we are at the pos 1, where pos 0 and plus 1 is 1 right now. At 1, how many gap do we have? We have 2, and we will update this gap into 3. That gap 3, and right now max gap is 3. We don't update anything. We continue to the I equal 1. At the I equal 1 in this row in here, the brick is 3. So we update our pos from 1 into 4. 1 into 4 in here. How many gap do we have at 4? 3 plus 1 will we have 4 gap at position 4, and we update the max gap into 3 and 4. And then we are I equal 2 in here, 0, 1, 2. Yeah, this is our third iteration. Position 1, value is 1. Pos 4 plus 1, so that will become 5. We are at the pos 5. Do we have any map at 5? Yes, we have 1, and we'll update that into 2. And then max gap is at the position 5 is 2, our current max gap is 4, we don't update that, 4 is still larger, and we are done with this loop. And we already loop all of the row, and what we will return is wall size. What is wall size? 6, and the max gap is 4, so we will have a position where we will only cross 2 bricks in that gap, and that gap is the gap number 4. We don't really need to know which gap is that. We only need to know there are 2 bricks that we will cross, and that will be the minimum bricks among all of other gaps that we can choose. And yep, that's correct, and that's it.